I would like to call to order the Board of Trustees meeting for December 17, 2019. Will you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Welcome everybody this evening. Hopefully we can get you out before the temperature plunges down to the single digits that it's supposed to be doing. Please make sure your cell phones are off, are turned on to silent. May I have a roll call, please? Just push it down. You can see it should go. There you go.
Trustee Chamberlain. Here. Trustee Creighton.
Here.
Trustee Goldstein. Trustee Haber. Trustee Hollander.
Here.
Trustee Jamerson.
Here.
President Norris.
Here. We have a quorum. First item of business on the agenda is approval of minutes from the Board of Trustees meeting from December 3rd, 2019. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Are there any additions or corrections?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Rick had requested in a line on the fourth page to add, I'm going to read the sentence, his business has a random drug testing program, and he's requesting to add for THC. The rest of the sentence is, and will no longer be able to enforce it.
Will the movement and second accept the change?
Yes.
Yes.
All right then, any other changes? Hearing none, all those in favor of approval signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. Village ecologist is not here. Treasurer's report. Mike, I don't know if you want to comment on Bob's numbers,
No, everything is just pretty normal.
other than a rather large $1 million plus entry in the revenue last month, which is for the cell tower lease stream of revenue that we sold. So I only wish I had more months that showed $1 million worth of revenue. Okay, engineers report. No questions. Any questions for the engineer? All right. Director of Community Services report.
About halfway through the annual business license inspections, which are mainly restaurants.
If you look closer, please.
About halfway through the business license inspections, the annual program, which is at the end of the year, after about most of the restaurants were down, Panera and Subway for the last preceding years. And that's all I have.
Any questions for the Director of Community Services? Seeing none, Zoning Board of Appeals did not meet. Plan Commission report.
The Plan Commission met in early December, and the topic on the agenda was a continuation of discussion about reviewing our definition in the zoning code about family, about what family is, how it affects the single-family zoning districts, and how that ties into the concept of other types of living arrangements, group homes, for example. We are continuing the discussion on, and I think we're meeting in, what we said, we're having not meeting in January, we're meeting in February, because the January meeting is so close to the holidays, and we need a little more time to develop some of the ideas that we discussed.
All right, any questions for the Plan Commission? Sure.
Just let it go. Push it again. Let it go.
I know, every time, this time, there we go. I was just, I was curious how many visitors were at the meeting?
Two.
Got it. So it was really a
And
discussion.
they were a father and son.
So it was
So
really
that's why I said
a
they were
discussion
named.
among the plan commission members. Got
It was, although the gentleman who was there is someone who had been a rather strong opponent to the senior
Who had
food
here
program. Had
previously.
been there, yes. And he raised some very reasonable questions, et cetera. It was reassuring to see someone when it wasn't a hot topic issue in front of people feeling scared and frightened, to see a very different demeanor, which I think is a very good recommendation for the planning commission going forward and doing it without having themselves being under the gun, so to speak. Are there any other questions for the planning commission? Police reports?
On the 16th, December 16th at 2 a.m., the mobile station was burglarized. They broke into a window and removed cartons of cigarettes and some cash from the cash register. They attempted to take the ATM, but they weren't able to get it off the floor. It's a crew that's been recently started hitting the northern suburbs. Deerfield was also there at the same time, and so was Lake Forest and North Chicago. They have been active previously in Chicago, and now they're branching out, but their method of operation is to break into gas stations, take ATM machines and put them onto stolen cars. So we are actively investigating that, working with several other agencies on that. We have to report that the assessors from Hiley, who did our assessment for accreditation last week, went over all of our files and talked to several of our officers, inspected our facilities, and when they left, they told me that they would be recommending us for full accreditation. So we'll probably have to release sometime next year, I expect. The police activity, this is the last police activity report for the year. It's been a busier year than in the past. Total cost of service, you see we're $2,588 compared to $2,325 for the same period of time last year. So 263 more cost of service. Our tickets are up, and our traffic stops are up, our citations are up. Of note, for DUIs, in 2018, we had 36 at this time. In 2018, and this year we have 56, so we have 20 more DUIs, which is pretty significant. And I give two of my officers who get most of them, Sergeant Footsur and Officer Kirby. They've done a phenomenal job. You guys are a great arrest because they're preventing serious injuries and death by making these arrests. And that is all I have. Everything else I don't know.
Okay, are there any questions for the chief? I would make one public service announcement in relation to the burglary that happened yesterday, is that the business owner got the alarm but did not contact the police immediately. He checked to see if there was something going on, and that made it, although already unlikely that we would have caught them, because I think we'd have had to be driving by when it occurred, because they're professionals. Let me say to everyone, if your burglar alarm goes off in the middle of the night, call the police. We don't want to take false alarms, but I'd rather have false alarms called in than not have a good chance to catch somebody breaking into someone's house or property. So hopefully that will get out to the public as well. So put that one out. So, okay, village attorney's report.
We continue to have discussions with,
Was there a question?
I was just curious if they have cameras out there for a license plate.
I think my microphone's broken, but yes, we have cameras. It's a stolen car. We didn't actually get a plate, but we know that they've been using the same cars in several of these burglaries, and they're all wearing masks and gloves.
Trustee Hollander, I think the business owner should think about getting his cameras rearranged, because he originally didn't see anything happen and went back to bed. But so clearly wasn't showing the perpetrators either.
But I will say that it was on the WGN News last night, in case you saw it. The video from inside was the clearest video I've ever seen on TV. He had some excellent cameras. I mean, unbelievably clear video. Unfortunately, they were wearing masks.
Yes, and
So,
well, in any event, I think you should also question where their aim is at, so I might think about who's looking at it. So, okay, with that, let us give it back to the village attorney.
We continue to have discussions about the potential sale of the village on parcel of the corner of Deerfield and Milwaukee. And we met with Lake County Division of Transportation yesterday to talk about trying to align the timing of when access improvements could be made so that a business can operate at the corner versus when Lake County is going to do the work on Deerfield Road anyway. And their latest estimate, Pat might correct me, I think they're like 3 years away from thinking they might be able to start the project. So the discussion is whether a business that wants to have better access, meaning the ability for cars to turn left into the site, if they're going westbound Deerfield or have an additional lighting, whether they could make part of those improvements in advance of the Lake County project. The answer was possibly. Do the traffic study, show us what you want to do. Lake County doesn't want to have work done that interferes with their project in 3 years. It's kind of a shame to do work that would be a throwaway. I think was one of the expressions, we do work that then has to really be taken out. And the overarching issue is the financial one, which is that if the business spends money to do work which is going to be paid for by the government anyway in 3 years, how much would they be willing to spend on an interim basis for temporary improvements to allow them to open early? And as a corollary to that, what's the degree of village participation or willingness to participate in that cost to get them to open early? So those are the questions that we are exploring and probably have more to tell you in January.
Any questions for the village attorney? Okay. Hearing none, then moving on to information items and comments from the president. The first information item is an update from the committee on where we are for the Flatwoods Heritage Center, planning to try and have plans, get ready, etc. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Trustee Jamerson, who will be looking up his computer over there. Because, in case you notice, we still haven't mastered all of our electronics. We don't even know if our microphones are working or not sometimes. So we're getting there. Pretty soon we'll be in the 20th century.
First?
No, I said 20th. It was intentional. Let's get there before we get to the 21st. Besides, I was born in the first half of the last century, so I don't want to talk too much.
okay. Let me start by saying that I'm going to apologize in advance. If I'm going to be using a pointer, and if I miss, it's because I scratched my cornea on Saturday, and so I'm seeing double out of one eye. So if I miss with the pointer, it's only because I missed.
There it is.
How's that?
That's
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the Flatwoods Heritage Committee, Center Committee. And we've met on numerous occasions, and we've been working with consultants in all those meetings. So this is a presentation of the committee's bid documents. They're close, they're not quite ready yet, but they're very close. It's not a request for authorization to spend any of the village funds. So this is just basically an update to the board on the committee's progress and the next steps. Okay, so here's the history. In September 2016, the formal plan for the Eco Campus was presented to the board. In October 17, the next steps for the campus plan were submitted. In February of 18, we had a town hall meeting to discuss the campus plan. In June of 18, Studio Park Avenue Design Services was authorized to review the plan. In September of 18, the board approved the application for a grant with the state, OSLA grant. And in January, we received verbal notification that we were going to be accepted. In April of 19, the board approved a modified submission of a redesign grant request. That was then accepted by the state in July of 2019. I evidently forgot to take out the part that said date, sorry. And then on 12/19 of this year, this is here we are now, giving the design drawing update to the board and the audience. So this is a little hard to see, but this is the current existing situation to the north of us and part of the village hall. You can see right here, that's the village hall. We're sitting right here. And then this is the south end of the property with parking lot in the village hall. That's what's existing today. So here's the plan that we have been working with the consultants. These are big documents, and I'll explain it a little bit farther. There's more on these drawings than the grant has been, that the board has approved for the grant. So this is the north side, and you'll see these again. So, and this is the south side. So here's the project components as they stand right now. The items on the left, which I'm going to read, you can read them, but the ones on the left are what's in the grant. The ones on the right are alternates that the committee decided to put on the design so that we get pricing for it. Because otherwise we have no idea what these things are going to cost. And if the numbers come in less than the budget, we may very well suggest to the board to accept a couple of these alternates. So we've got the expanded parking area, the shelter in the plaza, the patio extension, the expanded walking paths in the north, the woodland education, accessible fire pit, drinking fountain that will be attached to the building here, and screening and landscaping. That's all stuff that was in the grant application and has been approved by the state as things we have to include if we are going to utilize the grant money. Stuff on the right is stuff that was at some point in time in the plan, most of it, and was taken out of the board's request. Discovery Center and Pathways, which is this stuff on the west side of the building, play area, an alternate drinking fountain location by the shelter, a fence along Port Line, which wasn't anywhere in any of the original stuff, the west access path, which gets you from the north to the west, and you'll see these on some upcoming slides. Columns at the patio, and I'll explain that, and shelter stone surrounds, I will also explain when we get to it. So this is the first thing, and it's a little hard to read, and hopefully I can get it. This is the parking area and the plaza and shelter, and that, that's tiny. You think it's tiny up there. $231,854 is what the budget is for that area right now based on the drawings. The next area is the patio, which is right outside here, $68,680. The pathways in the north, which I didn't total up, but they're about $20,000 for the The woodland education area, which is $20,996, and the accessible fire pit, $21,104, and then there's landscaping, which this is a buffer to the house to the north, this is a buffer to the house to the west over here, and this is a buffer to the houses on this side of the property that have now become direct targets, line of sight of the village hall now that we've cleaned out the block. No good deed goes unpunished. And then these are the 7 alternates. I'll show them one at a time that the committee came up with. Some of these were in the original grant proposal and were taken out by the board, but we decided that since we were going through the motions and the expense of doing these drawings, the little bit extra that cost to do this design was well worth it, because if we need to do this in the future, we won't have to start from square one again. So this is the West Discovery Center and Pathway, and it's basically this path from about right here to about right here. This area up here is where the play lot, the play area is going to be, and that's got $233,184 for, mainly for play equipment. It's very expensive. It was originally slated on this side, if you remember the original plan, but the committee talked a lot about this and decided that this would be a better location for it, for a number of reasons, mainly because where the shelter is. So this little thing here is a drinking fountain. That's an additional $5,000, which we thought would be nice to have next to the shelter, but right now it's scheduled to be over here by the village hall where water is easily accessible. This is a fence along the court line to keep people that are in the shelter, which is in the project, and play lot, if it goes, keep them off the court line. This is the west half extension that takes you from the patio area around to here. We broke that out because there might be a reason why you would want to go from here to here, even if this doesn't exist. So we thought we would try and break those numbers out. Contractors aren't going to love it that there's this many alternates, but. So the patio here has 4 stone columns. There's 1 at each end and there's 2 in the middle. We decided that the 2 on each end are really nice and decorative, but they're not necessary for the project. So they're budgeted at about $13,000. So we kept them out as an alternate just in case we didn't want to spend that. And then the last thing is the the stone columns, the surround columns. So the columns in the shelter, this is a pre-manufactured shelter, and the columns are basically wood or steel. I think they're steel. And the architect decided he really liked them to match the building, which we would like too, but that comes with a price tag. And $26,400 for those surrounds. So we decided that's the budget number. We decided to break it out and see if it makes sense to put it in or not. So altogether, those 7 alternates total $327,000, and that includes a contingency of $21,000. So there is a contingency in the base project of $50,000. And I would not recommend we take that out. We'll probably get spent because we're running something that we didn't have on the drawings or whatever happens that happened on this building. So if all the components came in at the budget amount and all of the work was done, the total cost would be $851,836. The grant would reduce the village cost to $548,836. Now, the budget numbers are most certainly not going to match the bids for the work. They hopefully will be higher than the bids that come, but they're not going to be exactly equal, so just keep that in mind. And once again, right now we're not recommending anything. This is just a recommendation of the board. These are the next steps that have to happen. We have to prepare the bid documents. We have to notice the bids. We have to collect the bids. We have to review the bids. And then the committee will make a recommendation or recommendations to the board. And then the board will vote, either proceed, not proceed, what alternates, if any, they want to accept. So that's where we are right now. We just wanted to keep you up to date because the schedule right now is to try and get this out in February. Do either of you remember? I didn't bring that with me. Do you remember what his schedule was?
Yeah, it's to bring a recommendation to the board in February.
Right, so before we can bring a recommendation to the board, we need to get the bids out and get the bids back. So the goal is to try and get that out happening in January so that we can bring a recommendation to the board in February, because we really have to get this done to meet the grant obligation by the end of next year, which means we really have one construction season to work with. So, are there any questions?
If one, when you bring this to us, can you also bring us an estimate of the yearly maintenance cost?
Sure. We can do that.
That is one of the things that we're working on with Ben to make sure, and maybe it's possible, depending on what's there, and that's part of course, what you'd be reviewing. in the
Right,
decision.
that's what I would want to know, if, depending upon which elements were in or out, how would it change the maintenance cost? And I don't know what the alternatives are now.
For what it's worth, a lot of the paths are pretty maintenance-free. They're not made of gravel where we're going to have to be dealing with weeds and encroachments like that. So, but yes, there are going to be some maintenance costs, and we'll have that broken out. And to the extent that we can on the alternates, we will break out what we believe the maintenance cost is going to be on the alternates, because that may affect the decision.
Like the playground, for instance. We have already looked somewhat at the snow plowing issue, which really shouldn't be affecting things as near as we can tell at this point. We already have something over there that's being plowed, we're only increasing the area to an extent, but not enough to be significant. Changing it, we wouldn't be shoveling out a shelter or whatever during the winter. If the playground were approved, certainly we're not going to be shoveling that in the winter either. So, but everything from snow plowing up is being looked at. Are there any other questions for Rick? And again, we want to reemphasize, which Rick did a number of times, but I got to do it one more. You're not approving anything, we're not voting tonight. This is purely informational to let you know what we're at. Okay, the next item of business is that we are looking to vote on the update of the fee schedule on January 7th, 2020. That's the first meeting in January. It's not so much that we're changing the numbers, although some of those will be changed, but we're trying to be a little more consistent and a little clearer. We will probably be increasing the amount that we will be collecting for the deposit for consultants' fees, so that we can make sure we have the money up front, because it's a lot easier to collect it when they're starting than to spend the money and then try to chase them down later. But if you do have anything, please get it into either Bruce or Rick as soon as you can, so that we have an opportunity to try and get this all in place. Okay, moving on. Does anyone wish to address the board who's not going to talk about something already on the agenda? All right then, next item, approval of bills. Do I have a motion for approval of bills?
So, second.
Any questions, discussions? Cheryl?
I have a question. Actually, it's more of a comment. There's an AES bill that I have here that I'm turning sideways. The way it appears on our bills, it's broken down into 3 separate budget line items. But I know that's not correct, because at least 2 of the ones that are listed are in the same category, but they're listed in separate categories. So I would just ask that whoever does this verifies that it's actually going to the right line item, which also causes me a little concern. So I'm obviously very knowledgeable with that budget area, and so I'm a little concerned that maybe there are other items not being attributed in the right, to the right line item.
Well, we normally, we've asked our contractors to use line items or project numbers as much as possible. We'll double check on that, so.
So, no, it's correct on the bill, it's not correct
Okay.
on our sheet.
And I
So
will
if you
double
could
check.
just,
It's possible,
It's
that
actually-
I'm the source of that sometimes, because in the last meeting I may get lost. I'll tell them to. We'll check.
I don't know who it is, I'm just saying we should be careful.
So that's one of the reasons why one of our projects for the new year is trying to reduce the number of line items we have, because while we need to keep track of it for the projects, we've got too many account numbers and it's too easy to get them in the wrong place. So that's one of the things we need to look at. All right, any other questions or comments? Hearing none, motion having been made and seconded, roll call for approval of bills.
Trustee Chamberlain?
Aye.
Trustee Clayton?
Aye.
Trustee Goldstein? Trustee Haber? Trustee Hollander?
Aye.
Trustee Jamerson?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Then moving on to the action items on the agenda. The first item is one that I think everyone will support, at least I certainly recommend that they do. The Deerfield High School Parents Network, who are one of the organizations that help run the after prom at Deerfield High School, have asked for a $1,000 donation. We have made this donation since 2009. I think you're all familiar with what this is, that we try to keep the kids from going out, running all over everywhere. After prom, they basically get locked into the gymnasium. That's an overstatement, but that's the general premise. And they make things that the kids actually seem to enjoy being there. So, or at least that's what I'm told. There's some people who can probably tell us back there, but we think it's a very good item. So I have requested, and by email, the Finance Committee has also recommended approval, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I would ask for a motion to approve a $1,000 donation to After Prom.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Clayton?
Aye.
Trustee Goldstein? Trustee Hollander?
Aye.
Trustee Jamerson?
Aye.
Trustee Chamberlain?
Aye.
All right, thank you. And as long as we're in the donation business, you probably all remember at the last board meeting, one of our younger residents was here and made a request for a donation on behalf of the Deerfield High School Robotics Club. He has completed the application. Copies have been attached in the packet. We're recommending it. I think he's here this evening. I don't know if he wants to comment. We do have a video that we received that I would encourage everyone to watch. The reason Trustee Jameson is doing it is that we can get the sound out, which I think adds to the flavor. Very simply put, if I don't say it correctly, in a recent competition, they managed to set a world's record in this particular robotic competition, something that I think they have every right to be extremely proud of, and I think we do too. So, Rick, whenever you're ready.
The autonomous section's functional blazing start both teams robots not moving very well, but it looks like the Blue Alliance is making some early moves to move their train into the license of the red one.
Just coming up now.
Drivers, pick up your controllers. 3, 2, 1.
And we're all logically in this part of the contest. Your team will lost early. Their team working to get their blocks over to their trade. Good cooperation there in the other team. One robot running blocks, the other robot replacement, as the Blue Alliance continues to set blocks on their trade. We usually say blocks pretty quickly now, so that's going to be important that our players can work with them later on, where the extra blocks on the field. And Redfield strong too. They work their third block right now. Oh, it looks like they have a little bit of confidence. Looks like Blue is able to use a and fill those blocks in place.
I certainly think that that demonstration is much more articulate as to how well spent your money would be than anything I could add. I would also say that we seem to have superior driving skills amongst our young people. I don't know if the chief will agree necessarily, or your father, but in any event, first, congratulations, no matter what else happens this evening, on your record and your victory. But I certainly would like to have a motion to approve a $500 donation to the Deerfield High School Robotics Club.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Yes.
So I think that this fits within our current policy, but I would like us to review our policy going forward, because I think several trustees have expressed concern that, particularly with a decrease in revenue, we need to examine all areas of our budget, and this is one of them.
And I agree, the committee has already discussed it, but we have to make sure we keep on it and get it. But I do think we all agree too that this is the type of thing that would certainly be supported. Have a roll call, please.
Trustee Goldstein?
Aye.
Trustee Carpenter?
Aye.
Trustee Jamerson?
Aye.
Trustee Chamberlain? Trustee Clayton?
Aye.
Okay, it's approved. Would the victorious party like to make any remarks, or you just want to bask in your victory and your money?
I'd just like to thank you all for helping us. I can actually describe what was going on in that video if you wanted, but I wasn't sure if that was very necessary.
I think we got the basics. The idea is to pick up the blocks, move them over, stack them up, and then park once the buzzer went.
Yeah. Believe it or not, our partner that's struggling with the town was actually one of our best allies there, but that was probably the best we've done in the competition outside of any like practicing.
Well, as somebody who struggled to be able to put two little pieces of metal together with a director set, I assure you I am most impressed, and I would imagine that the rest of the board shares my admiration for what you've done and encourage you to keep up the good work.
Thank you very much.
Okay, then. Oh, yes, Henry.
When we did the budget, can we also, I guess it's already in there, but when we consider for purposes of this type, also look at optional fees or dues that we pay to organizations, things that we pay dues for that are not required.
That is something that we are looking at, putting some institutions that are outstanding institutions, but are expensive and are not mandatory. So yes, unfortunately, the decline in revenue that we've incurred means we need to look at everything closely. No matter, and again, nothing we've given to wasn't a good cause. It's just a matter of where should we be spending the taxpayers' money, and we need to be good stewards.
Just a general
Yes,
question.
here.
Since what budget does the prom donation come out of?
That would still come out of donations.
No, I'm saying which budget, 2019 or 2020?
Oh, this would come out of the 2019 budget.
Even though it takes place in 2012?
Correct, because we've spent the money now, and part of this goes to, well, yes, as Trustee Chamberlain noted, we're a cash basis of the fact that it's gone, and whatever it was we were going to get, we're not purchasing the service particularly. But yes, it's there, and as we're going to go into in a minute talking about the police car, this is a good year to have it charged against, since we have something of a windfall, even if it's a little bit artificial in nature. But yes, it is charitable for this year. Moving on then, item C, approval for the purchase of a replacement police department squad SUV and related equipment. And we tried to correct some things today, and apparently I managed to chop it up. So no, the chief is not as illiterate as it might appear from what I unfortunately published this afternoon. Chief? He is electronically changed.
You're not going to get your money.
So we have one police car that's due to be replaced. That's a 2016 Chevrolet Tahoe. It has well over 100,000 miles on it. And this year we looked at the Dodge Durango. It's less expensive, and we think it'll still meet our needs. And we got 3 quotes, including a quote from a dealership that has the state bid in Indiana. There isn't a state bid for the Dodge Durango for whatever reason in Illinois. And a dealer in Illinois, Jack Phelan Dodge, did come in lower than the Indiana state bid, and another dealer that we checked with at $29,200. And I have in here additional $12,000 for related equipment and installation at Lund Industries, but I believe that it'll probably be less than $12,000. So for a total at the most of $41,200.
You probably remember that in the initial memorandum, we referred to trying to accelerate the payment, again, against the larger revenue that we are showing for the year. As of right now, I've been advised that's probably not possible to do due to the various accounting rules, but I assure you, between now and the end of the year, we're going to continue to try to find a way to charge it against this year's larger revenue if we can. Even though it's something of an artificiality, we want to get as close to a balanced budget under these circumstances. So are there any questions for the chief? Again, this is a vehicle we were going to be purchasing anyway. We're just accelerating the purchasing.
I have a question.
Yes.
Just out of curiosity, because I have no idea, is there an issue with having too many miles on an older vehicle? Or what's the reason why we need one?
It spends more time in the shop, number one, and we did replace the transmission on it once already while it was under 100,000 miles, so it didn't cost us anything. But now if the transmission goes again, it would cost us. Typically it's 100,000 miles for transmissions and motors.
Trustee Jameson?
I was just going to make a motion. I'd like to make a motion for the approval of the purchase of a replacement police department squad SUV and related equipment, cost not to exceed $41,200.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, may I have a roll call on the motion to approve the purchase of a replacement police department vehicle not to exceed $41,200.
Trustee Hollander?
Aye.
Trustee Jamerson?
Aye.
Trustee Chamberlain?
Aye.
Trustee Creighton?
Aye.
Trustee Goldstein?
All right, thank you. Next item is something that we had hoped to be able to address this evening, but as council will explain in his dealings with Deerfield, they haven't.
Not issues just this time.
It's, Bruce, go ahead.
All right, on page 63 of the packet, explain what the board is looking at. So when we took in the property that we granted a special use for a hand car wash on, at the time it was in the village of Deerfield. We did a swap with Deerfield and the property came into Riverwoods, and we executed this intergovernmental boundary change and revenue sharing agreement. At the time, the plan was for the property that we took in to be developed as a restaurant, health food restaurant of some sort. As you know now, because it's come back to us for a hand car wash and service facility, that's not the plan anymore. The intergovernmental agreement referenced a set of development plans, site plans, engineering plans that tied it into the coffee shop and had a coordinated circulation plan. So Deerfield is basically in agreement with us on changing the agreement so that this new use is substituted for the restaurant. I prepared an amendment which would make these substitutions, and one of the issues is how do you see what's actually changed. So this is not the amendment itself, this is a conformed copy of the original agreement that shows what would happen as a result of the amendment. And alternatively, we just can restate the entire agreement, we'll see if that's what we want to do. But basically it just shows you that in any number of places where the word restaurant was used, we've substituted hand car wash and service facility And we pushed out a couple of the dates to take into account the fact that the property's been undeveloped for 2 or 3 years since we originally signed the agreement. The intent was not to change any of the economics, not to really fiddle with anything other than substituting the new type of use and appropriate development documents.
Are there any questions this evening?
So when Deerfield has had a chance to review this and come back to us, then we will, can I ask one question? Sure.
On page 74 of 89, which is basically the tax bill from 2017, it shows the village of Deerfield and the village of Deerfield.
Right, the reason I was puzzled about that, the village of Deerfield had a bond issue, and this property was supporting the bonds. So when it comes into the village, it continues to be taxed for those, towards the bond debt service. It doesn't get excused from that, so.
Did it come into the village in 2017? Seems like that was
2000.
Seems like that's too long.
Well,
No, I think that's right.
Is that right? 2017, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
I guess it would be, you're right. Okay. That was my own question. Thank you.
It says hand car wash and service facility. Does it assume that the service facility is an auto service facility, or is that just a general term that you're using?
we use that as a specifically defined term in the zoning code. We called it a hand wash and service facility because it not only had a car wash, it had a service bay, a detailing bay. It had other things besides car wash, so we defined, there's a whole paragraph definition about hand car wash and service facility.
Right, I mean, isn't there an auto service addition that's going on? Is it in that property or attached to the gas station property?
I think what you're thinking about is
Is right, the Ray's Auto Service.
Right, that's mechanic work that's been going on in a gas station will be moving to this when it's built. Is that what you mean?
Yes, I didn't know whether or not you needed to define the automobile service repair part, if that's included as a service facility.
It's in this long definition.
Yes, okay.
Sure.
Just one of the restaurant words didn't get changed.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I have a question.
Eric?
Again, it's probably just out of curiosity, what happens in 2031 on page, section 7?
At that point, our revenue sharing with Deerfield would stop. The defined term during which we share some of the revenues from property taxes and sales tax, after that it would stop.
And
Then we get it all.
We get it.
We get it all.
All of
From air.
$2 million in revenue, we'll take what we can get. Are there questions? Earlier, Mike still on, so it's yours.
sorry.
Moving on to items that are ready for addressing, item E, is the Davies contract for removal of trees.
For $9 million.
Oh, that's supposed to be a period, sorry, I'm going.
I'm in the wrong business.
Yes, that is a proposal, so I hope I didn't cause you to lose too much sleep over that one. As noted, it's been marked by the second review, or the entrance drive to the village hall. Therefore, being only a few feet off the roadway would have to be considered a hazard. And the others are trees that should be removed as well. It includes the 2 dead oak trees over on the 320 property that are next to the parking lot, et cetera, as well. So the terms are the same as the hourly rates as under our existing contract with Davey, but being $9,000 and relatively short notice, I wanted to bring it to the board and ask for approval. Any questions? If not, I would like a motion for approving $9,040 for the Davey proposal.
So, second.
I just wanted to point out to the trustees and visitors that we have no requirement to remove dead trees, but we do have a requirement to remove dead trees if they are hazardous trees. So that's the difference here, and that's why these need to be removed.
And the ecologist said that it's proper stewardship. Some of these are only being removed to half height, so that there's still, in essence, a tree trunk in the yard or the space, because that's used for wildlife for the home. Any other questions or comments? If not, roll call, please.
Trustee Jamerson.
Aye.
Trustee Chamberlain.
Aye.
Trustee Clayton.
Aye.
Trustee Goldstein. Trustee Hellander.
Aye.
All right, thank you. Moving on to old business, we were able to figure out what the difference was with the numbers we had been looking at when I didn't make the recommendation last session. But I am now asking, and the Finance Committee has agreed, we're recommending a 2.5% increase for the civilian staff. This is